Desiree here from I Can You Can Vegan. Long time no see, it's been a minute. I get a lot of questions about Weight Watchers still, and even though I am not tracking my food on the program anymore like I was back in the day, there are still some things that stick with me even today that I still incorporate into my day-to-day life. So if you are new here, welcome. I have done some Weight Watchers content in the past where I've shared a little bit of insight into the meals that I eat on a regular basis, things that I think are actually doable, that make sense points wise, and that taste delicious because ain't nobody got time for nasty food. If you're new here, I was able to actually lose around 22 pounds on the Weight Watchers program. And I was super excited about those results. So obviously I still want to maintain those results. And for the most part, I've been doing really well. Here are 5 things that I would never ever do after doing Weight Watchers. Okay, so number 1 is adding sugar or oil to anything that does not need it. Okay, so back in the day, I used to be more, I like my sugar. If y'all follow me on the blog or, you're into my recipes, you'll notice that I do not stray away from the sweets. I love cupcakes and cakes and cookies and all the things. I grew up eating oatmeal with sugar in it. And actually I grew up eating it with sugar and butter. So after I went vegan, I kind of still did the same thing. Obviously swap in the regular butter for a dairy-free version. And up until I started doing Weight Watchers, I was still doing that. But once I noticed how many points I was adding to such a simple breakfast, I was like, okay, I need to reel this back in. So as an alternative, I started adding a mashed banana to my oatmeal, and I now use frozen fruit. So I cook the frozen fruit into the oatmeal and then get a very ripe banana and mash it with a fork, stir it in there so that the sweetness can be nicely distributed, adding maybe a little bit of vanilla extract or some cinnamon, some nutmeg, some other flavors just to kind of give your oatmeal some flavor. That would be something that you probably want to explore because it has changed the game for me. And honestly, I don't even miss the sugar. So number 2, I will never ever drink my calories, whether it's alcohol or juice or whatever. I would rather have food. So water is gonna win for me 7 days a week. So if you are a person who likes to drink their calories, I would definitely recommend maybe figuring out how you can switch things up because you will waste a lot of points on just indulging in other drinks outside of water. Now, of course, if you want to celebrate with friends or family and you want to have a nice little cocktail, nobody is saying don't do that, but this should not be like an everyday thing for you. It should be like, once in a while, I want to splurge a little bit. I want to treat myself, have a moment, celebrate or whatever. But definitely you should not be drinking your calories on a regular basis. When I was in college, I used to live off of apple juice. I cannot imagine how much sugar is in apple juice. So it's something I would not do today outside of, like cold pressed juice or something like that. It's gonna be water. I would never ever not fill up on veggies. So this one, for me, it took some time to learn. I love carbs, like many of you do, I'm sure. I love rice, I love pasta, I love potatoes, I love all the things. But when I was on Weight Watchers, I still ate those meals, but what I would do to make sure that I felt full afterwards is to make sure that like half of my plate was at least vegetables, or I would go back for seconds to get more steamed broccoli or more spinach or more roasted carrots or whatever the vegetable was that I was eating. I would definitely always go back for seconds or fill up on them on the front end so that I could enjoy my meal as I wanted to. You want to make sure that you have your nice little serving of rice. Usually for me, I think I was usually doing about a half a cup of rice and then doing like a protein like a tofu or something like that because it's super low in points. I think it's 0 points if I'm not mistaken. And then the other half of my plate is going to be all vegetables. So definitely fill up on your veggies. And I found that drinking water during my meal consistently also helped me to feel full. So I wasn't, going back for another round two of foods that I probably didn't need to be indulging in. So number 4 is I will never deprive myself of foods that I love. I told y'all a few seconds ago, I love sweets, I love cake, I love cookies, I love all the things. I like to bake, period. And I love, your normal vegan junk food. I love burgers, I love fries, I love all those things, but I love them with balance. So if I know that, I'm going out to eat or something to, have a celebratory dinner with some friends or family, one of the things that I'm gonna do is plan for that. So I'm gonna make sure if I'm going to dinner in the morning, I'm gonna make sure that my breakfast is super, super low in points. Like I'm talking, fill up on fruits, maybe like some 1-point toast. I would maybe even consider oatmeal, which I think it was 3 points for 1 cup of oatmeal. Definitely pack in the fruit, like the mashed bananas and whatever fruit that I wanted to top the oatmeal with. But I would keep it simple all throughout the day. And then, at night for dinner, I would definitely order whatever it was that I wanted and just let that be that. There are some instances where I did not worry about tracking what I was eating because I knew it was crazy. So that's why I would plan for it with low point or 0 point foods all day until it was time to enjoy whatever meal it was that I was trying to have at the end of the day. So don't deprive yourself from foods that you like because it's only gonna make you want them more. So just figure out a way that you can enjoy the foods that you want, but responsibly, okay? This is a good one. Last but not least, number 5, I would never ever assume that something is going to be low in points before I actually look it up. So if you have been doing Weight Watchers for a while, you have probably come across some foods that you think are, healthy, that should be relatively low in points. For me, it was a big eye-opener to see stuff like avocado. I guess because it's a healthy fat, in order to eat like avocado toast, I was noticing that I would have to eat just like a quarter of it. Generally, I would eat a half avocado at a time, but that was just way too many points for me. So what I did instead was just eat a quarter of it, and I felt like that was still a reasonable amount of points to have. I think it was like maybe 2 or 3 points for a quarter of a large avocado. So never assume that something is going to be low in points just because you think it should be. Another example of this for me was nuts. One would think that nuts would be pretty low in points, but they're not. Another thing that caught me off guard was smoothies. Okay, there's some science behind the whole smoothie thing. Most people would think that because you're just blending up fruits and vegetables, with water or almond milk or something like that, one would think that that wouldn't be a whole lot of points. But something happens with your brain and how your body processes drinks rather than actually having to chew up these fruits and vegetables. Let me not even try to get into that because I don't think that I'm gonna do it justice in trying to explain it, but just know Weight Watchers has taken that science into consideration. So if you by chance are curious, certainly look up smoothies on your Weight Watchers app and see how many points it is. You'll be surprised. All right, y'all, so that concludes the 5 things that I would never do after completing Weight Watchers. What are some things that y'all would never do again after completing Weight Watchers? I'm really curious to hear what y'all think. Like, are we on the same page? Are there other things that you would add to this list? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.